All right, hello East Central, and thank you very much for joining us on this special Facebook Live and YouTube Live. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for East Central, Brandon Oliver. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining us, and I already see quite a few people are already watching, so this is great because we're going to be talking about going to college. The next step. And of course, the all-important, how are we going to pay for that next step? So I'm going to start off with two very important people here at East Central. And I'm going to start off here with Principal Shane Mckay and Laura Brimlong. And how are y'all doing tonight? And don't forget, your mics are off.
There we go.
Fantastic, Brandon.
Good, good. So Lauren, you're the head of our Go Center here at East Central. And so what are we going to be doing tonight?
Yeah, thank you for having us, Brandon. Thank you for always working so diligently for our community and keeping us in the loop, helping us keep them in the loop. So Mr. Mckay came up with a wonderful idea and we kind of just ran with it. We wanted to present some opportunities to our graduates and our EC community on some promises that are in the area and some ways to pay for college, because we know that that can be a stressful time and a difficult time to endure upon, but we have some solutions and some really wonderful opportunities. So we have other guests that are here to join us as well.
All right, so let's get to it. Let you go ahead and introduce our first guest.
Awesome. So I do want to take a moment to thank everybody for attending. And I wanted to do a couple of reminders here from the Go Center. So again, my name is Lauren Long. And in here, we also have Miss Christina Mercer, who's our Go Center facilitator. So the both of us are here to help your children in any way we can to get them ready for college. So 9 through 12, your students are more than welcome to come into the Go Center, apply for scholarships, ask questions, make sure they're in the right classes. Go ahead, Mr. Mckay. Do you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, first, I want to say thanks to our guests for joining us. And I know we're getting ready to turn it over to them. But part of the brainchild when Miss Brimlong and I got together regarding this opportunity tonight was to really inform our students and parents regarding the multiple options that they have for attending college. And now more than ever, understanding the state of our economy and where we're at, how our students and parents can take advantage of opportunities to receive free tuition. And I think, knowing that for the last 10 years, we've seen the inflated cost of going to college. We've seen students graduate that are just enormously in debt, as well as, challenges with being able to find jobs after they've graduated, even from college. And so the malemployment rate is something that we've always been tracking. And so what great opportunities, and I'll say some of the opportunities that we have for our students are specifically because their child attends East Central High School, because of our current location and partnerships that we have with local community college as well as local university. Students have opportunities to go for free tuition. That doesn't pay for their books and their other fees, but that's why we also have Mr. Sanches from the San Antonio Educational Partnership Foundation, which also allows for scholarship opportunities for students. And again, because they're East Central High School students. And we felt like what a great opportunity to share this information with our community. And then we also have other guests with us from local universities who have tremendous opportunities for kids to attend their four-year universities if they meet the qualifying factors. So I just want to say thank you again to our partners who have joined us tonight that are going to really bring about some great opportunities for our kiddos. And we're really excited to share this with our parents tonight. And I know myself as a parent with a child that goes to school at East Central, my ears have definitely perked up as well, because college ain't cheap. And I have one at Texas A&M College Station, and I just know the cost that's there. So thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Lauren. I know you may have a few other things to finish up, and then it'll be yours, Mr. Oliver.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Mckay. Always appreciate it. And So a couple of reminders from the Go Center to please, if you're a senior, FAFSA opened on October 1st to start with those applications. We have a couple of nights throughout the next couple of weeks where you can come for in-person support, or we always offer virtual support. Please just let us know. And then also we have a college fair coming up, a virtual college fair on November 4th. So please keep an eye out on your Go Center Google Classroom. We are posting daily in the senior Google Classroom and almost every other day in the freshman through junior classroom. So please, there you go. It is November 4th, and that actually is already live. So if you want to start exploring, you can do so now. You just have to create an account. And then Brandon, can you also show the other one, the Fafsa Fiesta? Yes,
Yeah.
so we have dates on there where you can sign up and come for in-person support.
Yeah, just when you think Fiesta's canceled,
Not
it
with
is not here. It is not here at East Central.
Yeah, I do want to add something about FAFSA. No matter what your family income level is, know that every family is required to do the FAFSA. We even though my own son does not qualify, we still have to fill it out as a condition of his enrollment every semester. But also know that for our current sophomore class, it is a condition of their graduation that every student has to complete the FAFSA or the TASFA. And so for you to be able to qualify for any of these opportunities to receive free tuition, you would be you would have to complete the FAFSA. And so we're really asking our parents to partner with us. We're here to provide support. I know our local community college as well as university are also willing to help and provide that support, but very, very important that the FAFSA be completed, and know that Miss Brimlong and her team are ready, willing, and able to help, and they're excited. So take advantage of these Fafsa Fiesta evenings, and then we are even planning some additional events as we get closer to the deadline. But please make sure that that's an important step in the entire process.
And Lauren, we got a question right off the top of the bat, and I know you can answer it very quickly because Isis Morales asked, my daughter tried to get into the Go Center and it said it wasn't, she wasn't part of the class. So this isn't.
I think she might be referring to the Go Center Google Classroom. So we will write down her name and we'll send an invite via email. Just have her check her email tonight for the invitation. It's also on our Go Center website. We have each grade level. I'm not sure what grade your daughter's in, but if she's freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, we have each grade level has their own Google Classroom with the Go Center.
All right, so there you go, Ms. Morales. Got your question answered right away. All right, so
our first guest. So I'm very excited to be working with this organization this year. They do a lot for the community. They do a lot for San Antonio in general. The Alamo Colleges are a great resource and a great partnership with East Central. And so we have Mr. Arredondo here to talk about Alamo Promise. So hopefully he's kind of had a difficult time with his connection. So hopefully we can get him on, and he's going to kind of introduce Alamo Promise, how your child qualifies for it and what it means, and the steps to ensure that your child is able to take advantage of the opportunities with Alamo Promise.
Yeah, he was. Let me try it. There he is right there.
Having a tough, I'm sorry, I had a tough time with the connection. I apologize, but we got the slides regarding Alamo Promise. I guess we're jumping right in.
Yes. Let's jump right in.
Okay. And with me, if the connection drops, I'm going to come back in a second. So as the staff and I appreciate the introduction. We do have a really close relationship with East Central Independent School District and by extension the high school and Principal Mckay. We're excited to continue that relationship and collaboration. Alamo Promise last year was the kickoff year. We at last count, we had close to 300 East Central High School seniors that actually enrolled to Alamo Colleges and Palo Alto College through this program. What makes this program unique is that if you're in Bexar County, so next slide, please. If you're in Bexar County, and from a Phase 1 Alamo Promise school, this program specifically covers all of your tuition. So students that are Bexar County residents from East Central can come to any of the Alamo colleges for tuition free. And the goal of Promise is to help the student through college from enrollment to graduation by covering all of your tuition costs and providing resources for the eligible students that live in Bexar County from Phase 1 schools. Next slide, please. There's really criteria in terms of the eligibility requirements. So first question is, are you a resident? And number 2, will you graduate high school, Phase 1 school, which East Central is. So we're in partnership East Central High School, and East Central will be a Phase 1 high school. And so if you answer to that second one, you're eligible. Next slide, please. So, there's a few steps to do. I can say something right, so you have to submit forms. But let's start by saying one of the key differences is that while you require a FAFSA form to be submitted or FAFSA, depending on your specific situation, it's not required.
All right. Yeah, we lost connection with them. Lauren, do you just kind of want to take us through this then?
Yeah, I can. So if you could go back to the previous slide, Brandon,
Right,
please.
let me see if I can.
If you're able.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so there is a criteria of right now the child or the student needs to live in Bexar County and be a Phase 1 school, which East Central is. So if you can check those 2 boxes off right away, your child is able to participate in Alamo Promise, which is free tuition for 2 years at any of the 5 Alamo colleges. And if you want to go to the next slide. So there are a couple of steps that you have to participate. The first one is you have to take the pledge, which is saving your seat. The second is apply through Apply Texas to one of the 5 Alamo colleges and fill out the FAFSA application. So the good news for your children and for our families is on November 9th and 10th, the Go Center is actually pushing into all of the English 4 classrooms where we are going to do exactly these steps. So we are going to have every student at East Central High School, every senior, save their seat. So they're going to scan that QR code or they're going to go on the link. And if you want to do this tonight, you're more than welcome to. We're going to have them start their Apply Texas application and get that rolling. And then we're also going to ensure that they are aware that they need to fill out FAFSA and help them through that process if they have not already done so. So again, we are going into the classrooms November 9th and 10th to all of the English 4 classrooms, working with their teachers, our whole team, all the counselors on campus. So we have a large group that are gonna head into the classes and make sure that the students have these tasks complete and we can answer any questions that they might have.
We brought Principal Mckay back in. I know he's got a lot of things to offer to his students.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to be a part of the early conversations with Alamo Promise, and I can say that it's a tremendous opportunity. Again, your biggest qualification is to be an East Central High School student and be a resident of Bexar County. And then if you take care of these very simple steps, the first one is the student can go on quickly and fill out the Save Your Seat. It doesn't require or mandate that you attend an Alamo Community College district school. But what it does is it just says, hey, I'm interested in this opportunity. Please save me a slot for this. Then the second thing is you'll go through, do the Apply Texas, like Ms. Brimlong said. And then on the back end, you'll have to take care of FAFSA. Now, here's what we really talked hard last year with our seniors, and I hope that this year seniors take advantage of it. Even if you're planning on going to Harvard, Yale, you're going to USC, do this. And let me tell you why. This is a safety net. this is in case something happens, i.e. COVID-19, who would have known last year before spring break, and how many of our seniors from last year who may not have taken advantage of this opportunity now are having to pay for a local community college because it may not have worked out due to the local circumstances. And so we just said, even if you're planning on military, even if you're planning on going to a large four-year university, take advantage of this opportunity, because if anything at all cost, this provides you an opportunity if you get injured and you're not able to go, or you don't qualify because of a pre-existing medical condition that you didn't know about for the military, or if something drastic happens like what just happened with this pandemic. So we really encourage every single student to take advantage of the Alamo Promise. And who also can say that, you know, within their first 2 years of school that they had 100% of their tuition paid for. And what a great opportunity. And I know if I had a chance to go back and do it again, I definitely would have gone to one of the Alamo community colleges, gotten my associates, and then moved on to a 4-year. It would have saved a lot of money, a lot of heartache on my part trying to figure out what I wanted to be. So I would just highly encourage every family and parent to encourage their child to take advantage of Alamo Promise.
So there are some questions that we are getting. If we could just run those by you real quick. Stephanie asks, is acceptance that easy? Acceptance isn't based on family income. Your mic, Lauren.
Thank you. For Alamo Promise, it is not. It is based off of where you live, Bexar County, and if you are a Phase 1 school, a graduate of East Central. So those, it's great news. I know it's almost too good to be true. And that's every time we meet with a student, we're telling them, like, this is a wonderful opportunity, just like all of them are tonight. But it is a great opportunity for our students. Even if you're not looking to transfer in to a 4-year, you're looking for a certification of some sort. There's a lot of opportunities with the Alamo Colleges.
Veronica asks, will this also apply if the student only attends during the summer or just for a few credits?
Great question. So you do have to enter fall of 2021 and spring of 2022. So it is only a fall spring kind of agreement. You have to be a student during those semesters, and you have to be a full-time student, which means 12 hours a semester.
And then there's another one from Irma. On November 9th and 10th, will there be help also for the remote learners?
There will be. So I have an entire presentation that we're going to go through with the in-person and the remote students, and we're also going to broadcast everything. COVID-19 is requiring us to get really creative and make sure we hit all of our students in every way possible. So we have discussions here in the Go Center all day long of, oh, well, what if the student is async and how can we reach them? So we do our absolute best to make sure we can hit every single student.
Axel says, I just submitted my Save Your Seat form for Alamo Promise. So there you go, Axel's.
That easy. Great job.
Yes. All right. So Lauren, I don't know if you have anything more for Palo Alto.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we kind of go through the year, and especially we push into our English classrooms in November, we'll answer additional questions that our students might have. But I'm just as excited to introduce our next guests with additional opportunities that they have for our students. I keep telling all of my friends, I can't believe these opportunities exist. What if we would have had this when we were in high school? So with that being said, I would love to introduce Heaven Tharp is our representative with UTSA, and she is here to introduce and expose us or teach us about the Bold Promise. So Heaven, it is all yours.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us virtually. I am very happy to be here today to talk to you guys about Bold Promise, what that means for your students, what that means for you as parents, just kind of alleviating that stress. So all of us are here today because we care about your students. We care about their well-being, supporting them throughout their entire journey. So I have a few slides for you guys. Brandon, I think, is pulling them up. So my name is Heaven Tharp. I threw out the bird sign and also the Shaka sign because I am actually a graduate of Hilo, but I'm currently a graduate student here at UTSA. So I just say I'm pretty interchangeable. I have passion for both of them. This flyer should be available for your students and also for your parents as well on the Canvas page. My information is linked into the message me, the book an appointment with me. So if students need to message me, they can definitely just click that, shoot me an email. The book an appointment will actually have them schedule virtual one-on-one with me. So if you know your student is already struggling with FAFSA, Apply Texas, if you know as a student you need help, definitely just sign up for a virtual one-on-one with me. I do work at nighttime as well. So if you're in school all day, you need a break from Zoom, definitely check out those hours. And then up at the top, kind of small, right under my name, that is my phone number. Your students can call or text me. All I ask is just that they tell me their first and last name so that I'm able to look up their information. Next slide, please, Brandon. Okay, guys, so mine is a little bit different in how I'm going to go through what Bold Promise is. So one of the implications of Bold Promise is that you actually need to be admitted into UTSA. So I just want to kind of go through quickly the application process. The first is via Apply Texas or Common App. So you would submit your application. Ms. Long and Ms. Mercer have put on lots of resources for you guys. I am also a resource, so definitely if you need help with that process, reach out to us. The second would be the application fee or the fee waiver. Now on the last page of Apply Texas and Common App, there's a little small bubble that says request fee waiver. Just go ahead and click that when you're pushing it through and then we'll handle the rest. The third is to have Ms. Long or Ms. Mercer submit your official high school transcripts. I know for me, if you guys are interested in UTSA, I try to let them know any of the students who are applying. So definitely for you guys who are at home, if you need help, just feel free to reach out from us. The fourth is optional this year. So we are test optional university as far as SAT, ACT scores. So if your student or if you know you're the student have not had the opportunity to take the SAT or ACT, don't worry, you still will be eligible for Bold Promise and for that initiative. Next slide, please. Okay, guys, so Bold Promise. So this is actually the Promise Initiative is a Texas-wide initiative that some colleges have opted into to help those low-income students who come from kind of a challenging socioeconomic background. It covers your fees for tuition for 4 years, which is the time frame it takes to get a bachelor's degree. This is $40,000. So, and this is to come to any of our institutions, whether it be Alamo Colleges, Texas State, UTSA. We just want to ensure that your student is able to successfully come and not have that financial strain. Next slide, please. There are 5 main requirements, and the 6th requirement being once your student is actually enrolled in Roadrunner Nation. The first is to be a Texas resident. For my students who are maybe out of state or came from out of country, you are still considered a Texas resident as long as you've been here for 3 consecutive years. So if you went to high school your sophomore, junior, senior year, definitely you can be assured to utilize this resource. The second requirement is that you need to be in the top 25% of your class. So if you're in the first quarter, then you are eligible for this. The third would be your family's adjusted gross income lower than $50,500, and this will be shown and proven or verified by submitting your FAFSA or TASFA by January 15th. This is the most important. So submitting that FAFSA and TASFA, it opened on October 1st. If you know me, I am always messaging my students. I'm like, I don't see the FAFSA. Where's the FAFSA? Do you want to do FAFSA? This is the most important thing. Like your principal said earlier, even if you aren't eligible for some of these resources, there are lots of things that the government sometimes give you. I know when I was in school, I wasn't eligible for Pell Grants, but I was given a scholarship based on my academic merit. So be sure to check that out. The next would be to be admitted to UTSA by fall for a fall freshman. So you just like Ms. Long said, you need to be coming in during the fall. So if your student wanted to take summer courses, they would not be eligible for this. So they need to be incoming fall freshmen for the first time at UTSA by January 15th. This means that you would ideally want your student to go ahead and complete their full application no later than Thanksgiving break, hopefully sooner. I have lots of upcoming events as well that can help your student finish those, or we can just do a one-on-one. So be sure that your student has at least 4 weeks for their application to be submitted to receive that acceptance into UTSA. That's the most important thing. Your student doesn't need to apply to Bold Promise. It will be automatically given to them based off these eligibility requirements. So simply based on what you send in. The last thing I just want to hit on really quick is for my students who are thinking of taking a gap year, or for my parents who are maybe trying to get your student to take a gap semester. This is only offered for incoming fall freshmen, first-time freshmen, which means as soon as your student graduates, then they would only be eligible for fall of 2021. And if you guys need any help, have any questions, I'm definitely here for you guys and can help anything that comes up.
We did have one question, actually. Veronica asked, are there requirements for the fee waiver?
So the fee waiver, yes. Normally the way we know that a fee waiver is indicated is by, I see someone said free and reduced lunch. That's a really great way to tell that your student is eligible. And then also that SAT, ACT fee waiver. So if your student got a fee waiver for that, that's also the easiest way. They can upload those fee waivers to our document uploader, so you can just have your student reach out to me and I can walk them through that. Those are both of the normal easiest and fastest ways to do that. Additionally, if your student maybe forgets to submit the fee waiver but doesn't pay, if they submit their FAFSA, we can do it on a Pell Grant eligibility. It just takes a little bit longer, so that won't really come into a play until about November time. So your student's application would be considered incomplete until we download the FAFSA. Great questions.
Mr. Mckay, did you want to hit on the lunch application, or I got my fancy flyer out? Awesome. Okay, so I'm so glad that they mentioned the fee waiver because the lunch application, we have it online and we also have it in the Go Center. We can pass them out. You can scan the QR code or fill it out online. And Ms. Mercer will add that in the chat box here in a second. But there's so many benefits to this fee waiver because not only does it apply you for free and reduced lunch, but it's also SAT, ACT fee waivers. It applies for 4 college applications if you receive the lunch fee waiver, reduced AP exams. So there's many, many benefits. And what we'll do is we'll actually, I'll post this on the Go Center website tonight so you can kind of take a look at the different benefits that align with this application. So thank you. Great question, whoever asked that.
All right. So anything else for, what a great name, by the way, Heaven Tharp.
Thank you.
It really is a great name. You know, if you need help with your future, ask Kevin. So, all right. Very good. Lauren?
Well, thank you, Heaven. I really appreciate you joining us tonight. And it's great to be able to give these opportunities to our students. And our next guest, who happens to be someone that I'm lucky enough to work with almost every day. She's here 4 days a week with us in the Go Center, Miss Alanis. She is a partnership that we have the honor of obtaining here at EC High School with Texas A&M San Antonio. So Elizabeth is here to talk about the Jaguar Excellence and Achiever Promise. So she's going to take it away from here.
Thank you, Lauren. And I just want to say thank you to Principal Mckay and Lauren and Christina for just welcoming. Really, all the EC staff for welcoming me to EBEC campus. It's been great. So for the Jaguar Excellence Guarantee, so this really applies to all students who are go to Texas A&M San Antonio, and really that is just our commitment to our students to provide the best financial aid package, resources, and support to our students. So that really applies to everyone. The big one that we launched this year is the Achiever Promise, which is probably why most students want to hear about that. Brandon, if you could scroll down a little bit, please. And this is our website. just a little more. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Brandon. So it's super easy to qualify for board Jaguar Excellence Guarantee and Achiever Promise. You just need to apply for admissions, complete the FAFSA TASFA, and be sure to submit your San Antonio scholarship application. That's very important. And really, with any university, just be sure to submit the general scholarship application, because that's going to open you up to more opportunities with the university. For the Achiever Promise, it's actually for our top 10% seniors, or if the senior graduated from an early college high school and has 30 plus credit hours, then that's where you would qualify for the Achiever Promise. The Achiever Promise covers any tuition that is not covered by financial aid. The Achiever Promise would cover for you. And if we click under Learn More, one of the most common questions that we get is, what do I have to do to keep the Achiever Promise? And that should be in the second tab. Really, you just have to keep a 3.0 GPA and be enrolled full-time being 12 credit hours. And always be sure to be completing the FAFSA/TASFA and the scholarship application each year. And that's the bulk of it. I know there's a couple of other questions I get. What if I'm top 10% right now and then I drop from top 10% in the future, or vice versa? I'm not top 10% right now, but then I get into top 10%. So we consider the final transcript for the top 10%.
So there are a couple questions that popped up. Roxanne asked, if I completed the FAFSA, do I need to complete the TASFA?
No, so the FAFSA actually applies to student for both the FAFSA and the TASFA. The TASFA is a Texas application for student aid. That's not the correct acronym word by word, but it's the Texas application. And FAFSA here in Texas, TASFA goes directly with FAFSA.
And I believe TASFA is for undocumented students that are still able to qualify for state aid.
And I know we were talking about the Bold Promise, but in all these promises, will you be able to help students apply for these promises?
Absolutely. If you think you might apply for one of them or qualify for one of them, or you have questions, that's our whole rhyme and reason. So come by the Go Center, email the Go Center. And if we don't have the answer to your question, we will connect you with the rep and they will be able to help you with it. Definitely.
Let's see. Well, we got that one. The slides went by fast. Wasn't able to get your full information. Elizabeth, do you want to give them your information again?
Of course, it's my email is Alanis, and I'll drop it in the both the Facebook and the YouTube at kamusa.edu. And honestly, if you email the Gold Center, I'll probably see it too, because I'm constantly checking that. I do have the pleasure of being stationed at the Go Center for 4 days out of the week. So if you do send it to the Go Center, I'll see it. And I just wanted to kind of put it out there. I'm very happy for students to recognize me as a resource to connect with Texas A&M San Antonio. But I think the students who've worked with me can tell that I'm there to also assist anyone else who's interested in college, career, military, not just Texas A&M San Antonio.
Awesome. We do have a good question. I like this one. Does my sophomore need to start with getting ready for college?
Absolutely. So I think students sometimes have the mindset, and families sometimes have the mindset of you prepare for college your senior year, when actually, your grades and your transcript, that's going to follow you not only through high school and through college, but when you apply for a job, they could potentially ask to see your high school transcript. And you have the opportunities to start applying for scholarships at the age of 13. So if you're a family and you're like, okay, we can't take on a large lump sum of debt, as soon as your child turns 13, one a semester or one a year, just to get in that habit. And then once, they're a sophomore, junior, senior, they're more familiar with the scholarship process and that sort of application process. But definitely on our Go Center website, we have a checklist for each grade level. And if you follow that checklist pretty diligently, your child should be in a really great place by their senior year. So that's on the Go Center website, which is www.ecisd.net/Go Center. And you can familiarize yourself with a lot of the resources that we have available to the community there.
There is an A&M specific question here for Elizabeth. You said it covers anything financial aid does not cover for A&M. Does that mean before any student loans are considered, so the student does not have debt after college?
Yes. So, at least to my understanding, and I can get clarification because I saw Shane shake his head. Financial aid meaning Pell Grant, Texas Grant, or any specific A&M scholarships. If they get any outside scholarships, those wouldn't apply. Those they can stack up.
Shane?
So what I can add to that, is, so what happens is when you fill the FAFSA out, if you qualify for financial aid, whatever that financial aid package that you qualify for, that essentially helps to fill the gap. And then A&M San Antonio through philanthropic partnerships, one of those being HEB, helps to cover the remainder of the student tuition. So basically for the student, it's no out-of-pocket costs. And so the way that they're able to help to reduce the amount or strain onto the university. So to not make it overly complicated or confusing, if you qualify, you have to complete the FAFSA. Your child then can go there if they meet all the requirements and they've done all the necessary documentation, they can go there tuition free. The financial aid side takes care of itself through A&M San Antonio, and that's why it's so important to do the FAFSA process. It helps to take care of that. And some students, they don't qualify for any aid, so that money that's been donated to A&M San Antonio covers 100% of their tuition. If some students cover for some aid, then the rest of that money that was donated to A&M San Antonio covers that little gap. And if some students qualify for all aid, then that aid is then covered by the government or whichever agency is providing them that financial package, whether it be scholarships and others. And we'll talk about ways that you can also pay for fees and books and things, because that's why we have some other partners on here to talk about the opportunities that are there. So hopefully I did an okay job explaining that. That's why the FAFSA is so important.
One more question that has A&M in it, but once an application is submitted to UTSA A&M, what is the average time for acceptance letter?
So it varies. I know one of our students submitted his application maybe about a month ago, and he already received his acceptance letter. So it just depends on how many applications are submitted at the time. Processing time varies by just how much they're having to process. But if he applies right now, they'll probably get an answer by the end of this year.
And I think the earlier you apply to kind of beat the traffic jam of applications coming in, you're more likely to get that information sooner rather than later. If you meet that priority deadline, that will also help as well. So just familiarizing yourself with the websites of each university that your child or that you're going to apply to will definitely help.
Heaven commented that for us, it takes anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks, depending on how many applications are submitted, basically echoing Elizabeth as well. So, okay,
awesome.
Great. All right, so Lauren.
Awesome. Okay, so we have one more amazing promise to provide to our community, and that is with Texas State and the Bobcat Promise. So Mr. Aladin is here to kind of give us the scoop on the Bobcat Promise and let us know what other opportunity lies out there for us. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Rich Aladin. I am the San Antonio admissions counselor for Texas State University. So if you have any questions whatsoever when it comes to admissions or anything like that, you can always contact me. I will be your point of reference for that. If we can get the first slide going. So before I start, I just want to say one of my colleagues is with me in the chat. So if you do have any questions whatsoever, he'll also be able to help out. His name is Conan Campos. So first off here in this slide, you're going to see Texas State's kind of financial aid slide. And I want to just kind of break down Texas State's full annual total cost for you to see. So off to the left, you'll see for Texas resident, all the way to the bottom, the annual total for Texas State is about $26,000. And that is for the full annual total. That's including tuition and fees that you see on the top, books and supplies, campus room and board, personal miscellaneous and travel. And then you'll see that semester total, because there's 2 semesters, of course. That is essentially that annual total divided by 2 for you to get the semester total for fall and spring as well. So when it comes to Bobcat Promise, if you have a family gross income of $50,000 or less and you submit your FAFSA and you qualify for Bobcat Promise, what will happen is that will cover your tuition and fees expense. And then you'll also get a financial aid package that will go all the way up to that full annual total cost for you to cover that too. Financial aid package can include some more grants, work study opportunities, and loans and things like that. But with the Bobcat Promise, if you qualify for it and what you need is that family gross income of $50,000 or less, your tuition and fees will be covered. So that's one thing I want to highlight. Overall, when it comes to FAFSA and financial aid, I encourage everyone to submit it. I do know FAFSA opened up October 1st, so it's already open. And I always tell my students, you want to take advantage of it. The earlier you submit, the better. The earlier you submit, the more you're going to be able to take advantage of getting a package that's more beneficial for you, mainly because when it comes to universities, they have more money in the beginning to create funds on a first come, first served basis with FAFSA. So later on, like let's say you submit your FAFSA in May or so, what will happen is you'll probably get more loans in that package, and you don't want to do that. So listen to your counselors. When your counselors say take care of it early, honestly, take care of it early just so that you can make sure that you're getting a good package as best as possible. I do know Conan will be sending out a link to both of the chats, Facebook and YouTube, with the Bobcat Promise link for you to able to see all that information there as well. You'll see priority deadline we have off to the slide is January 15th for financial aid, but for our Bobcat Promise, our priority deadline is March 15th. So you have to be accepted by first, as well as submit your FAFSA by March 15th, and then you'll get that Bobcat Promise qualification and everything taken care of from there. Now, I want to talk about some scholarship opportunities Texas State has. If we can go to the next slide, please. So here we have some scholarship opportunities too for students that are in the top 35% of their class. You'll see assured scholarships, and usually how it works is if you're in the top 35% of your class and you have an SAT of an 1160 or an ACT of a 24, you're guaranteed scholarship money from Texas State. You're guaranteed $6,000, and it can actually go up to more money depending on your class rank and test score. So one thing though is with Texas State this year, if you're in the top 75% of your class, we are actually taking applications without an SAT or an ACT score. So what that means is, let's say you're in the top 35% of your class and you don't submit one of the SAT or ACT scores because you couldn't take one. That's okay, because the scholarship committee is going to have their own review process and how they're going to award scholarships for those assured scholars and students in the merit-based qualification. Now, off to the right, you're going to see competitive scholarships. With competitive scholarships, the most important thing with this is we have a system called the Bobcat Online Scholarship System, where students can go ahead and apply to all the scholarships that they can qualify for. And the Bobcat Online Scholarship System is open to students that are admitted to Texas State, and you have to be accepted first in order for you to apply to these scholarships. And then you'll see that application deadline for scholarships December 15th. So the biggest thing with this is I always tell my students, you want to submit everything by November 1st, such as like your Applied Texas, your high school transcript, test scores if you have them, an application essay by November 1st, mainly so that you give us about 4 weeks or so in November, because that's a high volume time with a lot of applications, for you to get a decision in time for you to apply to the scholarships. And hopefully you have about 2 weeks or so to apply to the Bobcat Online Scholarship System. Of course, the earlier you submit, the earlier you take care of that, the more time you have to take care of the Bobcat Online Scholarship System application. And I want all my students to capitalize. If you have Bobcat Promise, you can get both. Get Bobcat Promise and apply to scholarships in the Bobcat Online Scholarship System, and hopefully you can get more money from that too. So essentially, that's the information that we have on the Bobcat Online Scholarship System. Conan, if you can throw some of our contact information in the chat too, just so students can be in contact with us and we can kind of steer you towards that and give you even more information if you're interested in that. So those are my 2 slides.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions so far, Brandon, for us?
So there were a couple. See if I can bring them up here. Oh, wait, right there. With the financial aid gross income requirement of 50,000 or less, what size family is that for, or is the size of the family not a factor, just the income level?
That is a really good question. I do know Conan has some experience with financial aid. Conan, if you could answer that in the chat, that would be great. I just don't want to give wrong information in case. Yeah, but that is a really good question. So thank you for asking that.
And then Araceli asked if the student's parent makes more than 50,000 yearly income, is there still some kind of financial aid for them to apply?
So yes, go ahead and still submit your FAFSA. That's one thing that your counselors will talk about. Submit your FAFSA because there will be some scholarships you could get, and that's dependent on your FAFSA as well. But yeah, submit your FAFSA, and then from there you can hopefully get some grants, work study opportunities, if so. And of course, there's loans with that. But then if you apply to your FAFSA and then you apply to the Bobcat Online Scholarship System, hopefully you can get enough money from the scholarship system too to not worry about a couple of things. Yeah.
All right. That's it for the questions.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. And so we have one more guest, and this is another special guest. Mr. Sanches works for San Antonio Education Partnership, and he is actually one of our Go Center members. So he works with us here in the Go Center, and we're lucky to have him. And he's going to talk about a scholarship opportunity for East Central students and graduating seniors.
Thank you, Ms. Long, and good evening, EC. Thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Mr. Sanches, and I am a college access and success advisor with the San Antonio Education Partnership. I am assigned to East Central, where you would typically find me in the Go Center, but for this semester, I am virtually available to assist parents and students with any questions or concerns regarding to the students' preparations for life after high school, whether that be college-related, career-related, or military-related. I want to take this time to highlight a scholarship opportunity, and I believe Mr. Brandon will be pulling up the scholarship flyer. This is the San Antonio Education Partnership Scholarship. So this scholarship is highly beneficial for students who are planning to possibly remain in San Antonio to obtain either their associate's and their bachelor's degree. I do want to echo what Mr. Mckay said earlier. While we encourage for our students to apply to any and all universities outside of San Antonio, we want to make sure that they have a safety net just in case, the unexpected happened, such as COVID. So this is a good safety net for students that are planning to remain here in San Antonio. So I'll start off with the awarding amounts. We do give $600 per academic year at the community college level. So that includes all 5 of the Alamo Community College districts. So we have Northeast Lakeview, Northwest Vista, Palo Alto College, St. Philip's, and San Antonio College. Now for the public 4-year universities, which are UTSA, A&M San Antonio, and UT Health Science Center, we do provide $850 per academic school year. And then for the private schools, which we all know are the most costly, we do bump that to $1,500 for each academic year. Now, for the eligibility requirements, I know it might be just a bit hard to read, but for the eligibility requirements, we do ask that students complete the SAEP Scholarship application by March 31st. So I'll be outreaching to your student to have them apply for that scholarship. The second requirement that we have is for your student to attend 3 SAEP College Success activities. And what those are workshop webinars designed to help your student prepare for life after high school. So we go over various topics. Some include Financial Aid 101, how to succeed in a college outside of San Antonio, and my favorite, how to prepare for the job market. So students do need to attend those 3 by April 30th. The next and third requirement is for your student to attend the SAEP Activation Seminar. What that is, it's essentially a ceremonial presentation that goes over the logistics of how the scholarship works moving into the your child's collegiate career, their freshman year. The 5th requirement is that we do ask for students to achieve a GPA of 80 or higher on their final high school transcript. And they do need to graduate from an SAEP partner school. East Central High School is one of our partners, so there's no worries on that. And lastly, we do ask that your student provides or demonstrates financial need by submitting a copy of their FAFSA with their student aid report or their TASFA application by the June 30th deadline. And just like many other scholarships, we do ask that we do require that students be enrolled full-time at any of the major universities or the community colleges here. So full-time means 12 credit hours or more. If your student or if parents or students have any questions regarding what that means, we'll be more than happy to answer that question. And that's pretty much it for now.
All right. No questions so far for Mr. Sanches, but you did such a great job with your presentation. All
Yes.
answers, all questions have been answered.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think maybe we could bring everyone back into the room, Brandon, and see if maybe give a couple of minutes for questioning. If there's any Alamo Promise, I know that he was having a difficult time with connections. Oh, there he is, yay. We can open it up and see if there's anyone that needs an answer. And
one thing I'll just add to the SAEP scholarship opportunities. If you take care of those steps and you qualify for one of these promises and you attend one of the local San Antonio schools, then that can be used to help augment your costs for books, tuition, fees that may be there. So some of those incidental costs that are that may arise. So it's a great opportunity again to continue to find it. And I know there was a question earlier about the household. That's typically for an annual household of 4. So that's how they figure that out. So if it's for 4 people in inside the household for FAFSA, that's how not for FAFSA, but for the free and appropriate public education, the application they have to for free reduced lunch. So
there are
And
some
if
questions.
I can interject here
Go
too.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Now that I think I have a clear connection, like I want to, I feels like
Yeah,
my
you're
ears just
crystal
popped,
clear.
you know. So I know that there were some questions about the adjusted gross income or the gross income, and I just want to reiterate what was shared earlier. And I appreciate the support as always, Essential. You come in, and we appreciate it. But that's one of the key differences for Alamo Promise is that while we do require the FAFSA or the TASFA, there is no income requirement. So, I know that we hear a lot, well, I'm not going to fill it out because I don't qualify. Well, that's exactly to Mr. McKay's point, fill it out because you're going to qualify for Alamo Promise. So what it is, Alamo Promise is what we call a last dollar scholarship. So whatever it is that you would qualify for, that's free money, we want to see what that is. And whatever gap remains, we fill it in with Alamo Promise dollars. So even if there's nothing in your award for free money, it'll all be covered by Alamo Promise dollars in terms of the tuition cost. And yeah, exactly right. As far as the SAEP scholarship goes, if you have that eligible, we add that on, and that can cover any incidentals. So yes. So and one last thing about Promise is that the minimum hour requirement is actually 9 credits per semester. Okay. Yeah, so it's 9 credits, and so a lot of our students actually are part-time students. So we understand that there's a lot of things that our students are doing, working and tending to family. So we want you to know that if 9 hours, if 12 hours is not something that you can do, please know that there's some flexibility that we've added to the program to have at least a 9-hour credit registration limit.
Oh, did it freeze? Well, really quick, if everyone can hear me out there, I just wanted to touch on something because I saw there was a UTSA specific question. If we're test optional, we are test optional. Willie, I can see that you said like students who don't know if they should submit or not. So if a student has the ability to test, I would highly recommend that they submit those scores. Some of our scholarship programs have stated that they can't give out scholarships unless there's a SAT, ACT score. So it's just that if they don't have a score, they may be limited to those who do not have those SAT, ACT scores. But majority of our scholarships will be going on a base of a GPA sliding scale. So if they don't have a test, then we can definitely still consider them. I also wanted to hit on something that Rich hit on and Elizabeth, is that we're all here from our institutions, but of course we're there to help you on anything. So we get lots of students here at UTSA who say, well, is it better to go to the Alamo Colleges or better to come to UTSA? Well, really it's not a preference. We want to make sure that whatever your pathway is best for you. Each student has a different pathway. So it's really about kind of talking to us and working it through it. And then additionally, there are outside of these scholarships, there were some people in the chat just mentioning, what if my student is not eligible for these promises? Be sure to have your student get with their admissions counselor or look up their institution specific scholarships. So we have UTSA Scholarship Hub, Texas State has their own, Texas A&M, the Alamo Colleges. So there are institution scholarships that are specifically given to your students as well, which is why you want to make sure you submit your FAFSA to us, because on top of Bold Promise, they may be kind of stacking those scholarships for your students.
I want to piggyback off of what Heaven is speaking of. There are many opportunities for scholarships for the students. And one thing that we're starting here in the Go Center this year is senior meetings. Your child has an opportunity to sit down with us here in the Go Center and kind of go step by step on how to prepare for college, career, or military. And we follow up with an email, and in that email, we have a list of tons and tons and tons of scholarships. And the students leave a little flustered based off all the information that we discussed, but they have an opportunity to apply for multiple scholarships. And I tell them, one a week from here until March. And, they're like, oh my gosh, but it pays off in the end. And today in the Go Center, Google Classroom, I probably posted 5 to 10 scholarships for all grade levels. So if your child is checking, if they're diligent, if they're on the Go Center website, we're posting anything that comes to us to try to get it out to you to kind of alleviate some of these costs.
All right. And I think we had a problem with the internet connection like a minute or two ago. So we lost maybe some of these folks, and I promise it's not, we love Palo Alto College. We really do. It was happening right when he was speaking. And I promise we love Palo Alto. We really do. But speaking of Palo Alto,
do you Alamo Promise? That's my question.
Yes, we Alamo Promise. Axel says, I'm currently completing my application at Apply Texas for Alamo Promise, but which college do I choose and what should I look out for?
Axel, if you will put
that's a fantastic question.
It is. Axel, if you will put your email account, I will send you a follow-up email with kind of like a search for each of the Alamo colleges and what they specify, different degrees and programs and certifications that you can get at each one of them. So if you'll give me your email, I will reply back with info for you.
And then Stephanie asked, she missed earlier the requirement slides for the A&M San Antonio Achiever Promise. Is it acceptance based on family income like the UTSA Bold Promise?
So it's not family income based. It's the student has to be either top 10% student, or they can be graduating from early college, high school with 30 or more credit hours.
All right. And then Lauren, do you want to go over the website again? I actually had it pulled up, but I can bring it up again, the Go Center website.
Yeah, that would be great. It's www.ecisd.net/Go Center. And you will, if you can pull it up, Brandon, I know it might take a minute. We've completely revamped it. We've got quick links on the right. You will see I have to pull it up too. It's so little. We have a schedule on the top right for senior meetings. If your child would like to meet with us one-on-one, our Fafsa Fiesta sign-up form, the FAFSA application, applied texts, our scholarship bank where we add scholarships, testing calendar, SAEP partnership, Alamo Promise links. And then on the left-hand side are kind of each of our pages. And if you'll click, Brandon, on the Go Center calendar under home, that's kind of what we live off of. We have events every Wednesday. We have a different college coming in to give an admissions presentation. I think next week, Heaven will be with us giving her presentation. We've had UT, we've had A&M, we've had many, and every Wednesday we're doing that for our students. SAT testing, anything you could think of that happens in the Go Center, we've got it listed here for you. And then if you could click on the Go Center Google Classrooms under the calendar. So this is, your student needs to make sure they're registered for our specific Go Center classroom where we post scholarship information and announcements. And then if you'll click on home, Brandon, that should take them to the checklist. Oh, maybe not. It might be under college readiness info. It is, yes. So here's the checklist for your student. Freshman year, some things you should be doing. Sophomore year, if you scroll down, junior year and senior year. So yeah, we've tried to make it as clear as possible for our kids to make sure they can do anything possible or do everything possible to ensure that they're successful in their post-secondary readiness.
All right. It's a good looking website.
Thanks for the help, Brandon.
We did have a question. Let me pull this down. Is SAEP a one-time scholarship?
So it is not. As long as your student is maintaining eligibility, they're enrolled full-time, they will receive the scholarship up to 8 semesters.
Okay. And then someone asked, is the UTSA test optional?
Yes, we are test optional. So it will never hurt your student to submit their tests. As far as admissions purposes, we can give your student admissions based off of simply their GPA and their class rank from their counselor or registrar's transcript. But your student may be limited to some scholarship opportunities if they don't have that test score. So it's really up to your student and up to the opportunities that they have. There are only a few, very few scholarship opportunities that mandate that there's a SAT score just because it's tied up with the government. But most of them will do a sliding scale. And I just wanted to, since I'm already on, I'm sure Ms. Long will get this out for all of you guys, but TACRO for San Antonio is November 2nd through November 6th. So please feel free to join us for that. If there's any students on here from East Central right now, I'll actually be in the TACRO Zoom from 7 to 9 after this. So I dropped the information here for any of you guys who are on YouTube. So you can definitely come chat with me either tonight or also be there November 6th through the 9th, and I'll be happy to help you guys.
I like this one. Is the A&M test optional? Did I miss that?
Yes, we're test optional as well.
There you go.
And it's pretty much the same kind of process.
A lot of schools this year, one, because of COVID, they're going test optional. They know it's harder for the students to tackle the test. They might not feel as safe and therefore perform to their best ability because of the stress of being in a testing center with a pandemic going on. And then two, a lot of universities don't like measuring the students based off of one-time test results. So I think that that's a trend that might be taking off in the next couple of years, or at least that's what we've kind of heard. But like Heaven said, if you do take the test, it can open up additional scholarship opportunities for you.
I know we ran into a resource that lists all the test optional schools, and I'm not too sure we posted it yet on our Go Center Google Classroom, but we can.
We will. We'll do that.
Another question just popped up. What's the best way for students to request their transcript be sent to specific colleges?
Great question. So there's multiple ways. So one, we are sending an email out to our seniors via the senior meeting that has that link to request official transcript. It's posted online. And actually, I don't think we have it on the Go Center website. So I will go ahead and I will add a quick link on the Go Center website to request an official transcript from eCentral. And it's just a electronic request. Our registrar receives that and then sends it off on the student's behalf. And Ms. Mercer just posted it in the link, I believe, or in the chat box.
Yeah. We'll do 2 more of these, and then I want to respect y'all's time. What should a student do after submitting their FAFSA? I know several of you have probably tackled this, but it's overwhelming, for a teenager. So what, I filled it out, cool, awesome, now what?
So I would say, and y'all can help me out, give input definitely, but I would definitely have your students stop by the Go Center. Let me sit down with them and talk them through kind of the steps that they need to accomplish in the fall, the winter, and the spring. Once you start checking off on the list, the senior to-do list, it helps a little bit to relieve stress and anxiety, and you feel like you're accomplishing things. So send your child here. We can have a conversation. If not, you can download it on the website like we just showed. You're going to wait to get your SAR report, which is going to have kind of what you're going to receive, how much the government will help you with these financial stipulations. And then definitely they need to start with Apply Texas, depending on where they're going to apply. It could be the Common App if they plan on going out of state. Anybody else? What else would you recommend?
Yes,
I would recommend, I think that all of our colleagues that are on the call or on the presentation, each of our institutions have student portals or prospective student portals. And so I know for the ACES portal for Alamo Colleges, we have a tab that's just called Financial Aid. And so after you submit your FAFSA, literally just go ahead and start checking that tab, because then you'll actually see that it's been received and if they need other documents. Because it doesn't end, and that's a great question, because it doesn't end after you click submit, because they may need additional documentation and they'll guide you through what those are. And so any one of us as representatives can kind of help you through that next steps. But that's a huge question. I think it's something that really is something that trips up families during the summer. Mm-hmm. So when we lose students during the summer, that's really one of the main reasons, because they never actually got packaged for financial aid because they were missing some items.
Yeah. And, I also want to point out that we are very aware, and the universities and colleges are very aware of what the pandemic has done to families and their income. So even if you're filing FAFSA for 2019, what we're telling and what we're hearing from each of the schools is, after you submit your FAFSA and you've received your SAR from a specific university, you can call that university and say, look, this is what we made in 2019. Things are very different in 2020. Can we build a new package, or can you help us? Can we work together to come up with a new kind of package or solution to help us financially? So that's when people come to us for FAFSA support, that's what we're telling them. You have to fill it out based on 2019, but as soon as you know where you're going, you need to call their financial aid and start working with them. I hope I'm right.
Yes, you're right.
Go for it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, just like what they're saying, what to do after FAFSA, it doesn't end with just FAFSA. And for me, I always tell my students, the thing is I know for me being a first generation student, I was timid and shy to reach out to admissions counselors, but I just want to reemphasize, we're here to help you throughout the steps and throughout the process. Do not hesitate. Parents, do not hesitate to reach out to admissions counselors and say, hey, we just want to know, what are the next steps? What are the things that we are missing, whether it's housing, when there's new student orientation, those small things like that, because just like the representative for Palo Alto was talking about, over the summer, there's so many students that didn't know that these were the next steps that they needed to do, and we lost them. And I'm just like, hey, we're here to help you throughout that process. Let's go ahead and catch up on these and get you situated. So there's a lot of things you can just reach out to your counselor for and ask for help, and we'll be able to assist you on that. So just wanted to bring that up. Yeah.
And I think Elizabeth wanted to say something. I mean, she's quiet but loud at the same time. So Elizabeth, I know you were trying to add something.
It was actually something that was already said about making sure to check that SAR application in case you were selected for verification or need extra documents. So it was covered. So that's why I didn't add it in there, but it's very, very important to check.
All right. The last thing, it's not really a question, it's just a comment. Awesome information for us prior to going to the Go Center meets. Also, big thank you for the opportunities to all the schools the kids are being given to be able to attend to further their education without having the stress of monetary issues. And we did get several comments like this as well. Thanking you guys for your time and for the schools reaching out to them and assuring them that going to the next level is possible without going into serious debt.
Yes, thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight, and a special thank you to all of our guests tonight. This was amazing for our community, and we really appreciate your time and efforts, and we'll be sending kids your way for sure.
All right. Again, Principal Mckay, do you have anything to close out with?
Yeah, just echo Ms. Brimlong's sentiments to our guests tonight. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for what you do for kids in providing opportunities. And for many of our students who leave, it provides generational change and opportunities for their family in the future. So we're really excited about our partnerships with all of you. Know that we're here to help. Just reach out to the Go Center or the high school, and we're going to help try to smooth that path for you as you transition into this next phase of your life. So thank everybody for all of your contribution tonight, but most importantly, the contribution that you make to changing lives and helping our students to reach their goals.
Indeed. And what other school has a principal staying this late to do a Facebook Live other than Principal Mckay? Man. All right. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for all of you for participating. And this will stay at the YouTube link and also at our Facebook in case you missed something or you want to go back and watch it. I think Lauren's probably going to put it up there on the Go Center webpage as well. So again, thank you all very much, and we'll see you soon.
And thank you, Brandon. Always amazing.